wherein we discussed previously how to concentrate on the heart and as well as on the brain, that is Sahasrar, that is head, and to concentrate in the heart, which is subtler than the subtlest, the sky of heart. It should be by mind. Mind should be steadied on the heart, and prana, which is other name for the mind, the vibratory system which vibrates the mind and thought waves. The prana should be steadied on the head, means last smallest hole, which is known as Brahmarandhra, and slowly it enters into the brain, which is known as the white hole and black hole also, which is the absolute steady state. And it can be done by yogic process, having closed all the gates, sarvadvarani sanjamya, having closed all the gates means the sense gates. Senses are only gateways, windows. You have window in the computer, so it is gate to enter through. And gate means also window as well as the door, both passage, that's all. Whether it is smaller or greater, that doesn't matter. The passage to go in and out. Gateway. They are called gates and senses. Confined the mind in the heart and fixed the life breath in the head, engaged in the practice of concentration, that is called yoga. That also we have seen. The mind is confined or fixed in the lotus of the heart. This heart's lotus we have discussed so elaborately, clearly yesterday. Flower is nothing, lotus is nothing but the solidity of water. First, when the water gets solidified, its gross ingredients, when it gets together, it goes down and it becomes the mud where from the lotus originates, and it has to come to the surface of water as a bud, and then above the surface of water it has to bloom, and there appears the imaginary creator, which is called Brahma. Brahma is nothing but the starting point of the creation, the creator, and that is on the lotus. That also says, indicates the flower is the starting of evolution of life. And that also means water is the life substance. And there Lord Vishnu abides, sleeps. That also means, sleeping means pervading all over the water. That means all pervasive life principle in the water. Sleeps means it is constantly in a dormant state. That is just as the past and future trees are there in the seed which is now seen. It holds thousands of past trees and thousands of future trees. All the DNA is there present in a dormant state. The moment it gets the chance to express itself, it projects out. So though water is the life principle, water is nothing but fire, and fire is nothing but air. So these three are main life principles. Air, which is known as vibratory system. When the sky vibrates, it is called air. When it vibrates, there is friction, so it is called fire. And fire is nothing but hydrogen and oxygen. So water is there in it. When it expresses, it is called water. In this way, these three middle principles or the basic elements, they are mainly seen as the life principles, but yet before it the sky is there, the absolute steadiness and the absolute grossness is called earth. So they are before and after, but in between come these three principles of life. In that way, the creation starts from water and mud and the flower called lotus, and over that, when the flower is bloomed, the life principle starts expressing. That is called the creator Brahma. And then the two sounds come out of the throat of Brahma. Onkara satha sabdasya dvaveto brahmana pura kantham hitva vinirjato tasman mangalika bhuvau. The two words, Om and Atha, that's how we go up to this only, analyzing the starting of creation. We don't go behind, above that, means to the depth of it. We start with sound, as per the modern scientists and our old great seers, research students, what they found out, the creation starts with sound. And sound is nothing but vibration. So the first vibration has its sound, and that is expressed as blasting. the universal expression, universal sound, when it starts, it has to make a universal sound that is called blast, a big blast. The modern children, so-called scientists, they say in this way, we have full agreement with it, 100%, not 100%. Beyond that also, we go still further, and in this way we go to the Lord Vishnu, the creator of the creators, which is hidden in the sleeping, means hidden in the water in a all-pervasive manner. Everywhere, every water drop holds the life principle. And in this way, the creation starts with the sound Om and Atha, two sounds. One is first expression Om, which is the name also for the absolute truth. The first sound is the first name for the first being. And then, Atha means then, the sound cannot keep quiet. It is not silence. It is vibratory system, so it has to go on further. So that further development is known as then, Atha. It includes everything. So in this way, two words, they came out of the Creator's mouth, which further known as the five Vedas, the source for the knowledge, the center of all the knowledge. The knowledge is called Veda. Veda literally means the knowledge, and that is experiential also and informative also. Both types of knowledge. So in this way, the sound, which is nothing but the prana and mind, should be stopped. Mind is to be stopped in the heart, core of the heart, and the prana should be stopped at the end of the body, that is Sahasrara, that is the brain. Both should be stopped. Then the absolute silence is seen and attained. That is called absolute peace. That is called absolute constancy, equilibrium, balanced state, truth, Paramatma, the causeless cause, whatever terms you can use to express it. In this way, one should meditate, means become that absolute steadiness at the time of death, at the time of departing from the gross body. So who departs? The subtler body, the self, individual self here is mentioned, individual self, because universal self, the Creator, has no gross body. He dies only when the absolute thought of creation stops. That is called death of the absolute creator. That is called death. And grossly, from the relative point of view, as far as the individual bodies are concerned, so gross body is understood here. At that time, if the mind and prana is completely steady, then that person, while leaving the body, will never go to the subtler realms, subtler planes, the astral planes, for further journey of the soul. No need, because it is absolutely stopped. So at that time, the person goes to the truth. It becomes one with the truth. Just as when the pot is broken, empty pot physically broken, the inside sky remains as it is, and we call it merging the sky pot, the pot sky in the outside sky. It does not merge, nor it is separated from the outside sky, nor it gets union with it. It remains as it is. So happens to the individual soul. The individual soul basically is known as the heart of the sky of the heart, where the individual soul is imagined to be subtle body, eightfold body, carrying body, or modifying body, the subtle body. So further Lord Krishna explains, Omityeka aksharam Brahma vyaharan mamanu smaran yah prayati tyajan deham sajati paramam gatim. When stopping the mind in the heart, prana in the brain, the individual soul chants Om. Om starts and ends, starts from the bottom and ends in the last. We say it merges in the brain. The sound starts from the heart and merges in the brain. Heart means also it has basement, so that is called Muladhar Bandha, the support of the physical body. So at the time of departure from this body, one who chants Om, this Om also, the sound also has 4 phases that we have discussed also yesterday. The Para, Pasyanti, Madhyama and the audible Vaikhari. It starts with very subtle ripples of the vibrations, which is not so easily understood by the mind, because it is mind itself. Mind cannot understand the mind fully, completely, perfectly. When it stops, then only that state can understand the imbalanced state which is called prana and mind. When one meditates perfectly, in meditation also only one can understand what is prana and what is mind. Or else perfect understanding is not achieved by anyone. So that is the way. That's how yoga comes from. It helps, it tells us the tricks, the methods how to achieve that steadiness from unsteadiness, how to stop this. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga means absolute stoppage of your vibratory system. So in this way, in the end, one should chant Om, which is the starting point. It starts and then it ends in absolute peace, silence. So the mind will be observed and prana will be observed in the sound. Sound also in the end disappears. So Lord Krishna explains one who chants uttering the one syllable Om, the Brahman, Sabda Brahma, and remembering me, he who departs, leaving the body, attains to the supreme goal, that is me. Now we shall see the 14th sloka, Ananya Chetaha Satatam Yo Mam Smarati Nityasaha Tasyaham Sulava Partha Nityajuktasya Yoginaha. The yogi, one who always thinks of me, fixing the mind on me, and remembers me alone continuously, every day, continuously, without interruptions. Tasyaham sulabha partha, O Partha, O Arjuna, I become so easily available to him, attainable for him. For that yogi who is constantly engaged in fixing his mind in me, the Absolute. I am easily attainable by that ever steadfast yogi who constantly and daily remembers me for a long time, not thinking of anything else, with a single mind or one-pointed mind. O Partha, O Arjuna, I am easily attainable for that person. Because my state is steadiness, equilibrium, the absolute silence, absolute steadiness. So when you attain that steadiness, you are one with me. So there is a question of attaining, achieving, or merging, or uniting. All these words are meaningless there. Constantly remembering the Lord throughout the life is the most easy way of attaining Him. So simple way. We have the habit to make the simple into complicated. Every simplicity we make complicated. Or else we don't enjoy. Unless and until we break our silence and talk something nonsense with our friends, we don't get pleasure. Nobody wants to keep quiet. And quiescence is the achievement. You start from there and you make the simple most into complicated one. So simple to keep quiet. For talking we want energy. Silence doesn't need any energy, but it preserves the all energy. We are habituated to make the simple into complicated. So that absolute constancy or the silence or the steadiness is so simple to achieve. It is already achieved. We start from there only. Who talks? One who is silent, he will only talk. Isn't it? Who walks? Who is not walking, he walks only. You start your walking, your eating, drinking from steadiness only. Who eats? Who was not eating, he will eat. Who speaks? Who was not speaking, he will speak. So it is so simple, it is with everyone. Isn't it? We make the simple into complicated. So God is so simple and so attainable, all pervading, everywhere, without any conditions, He is available to everyone. He abides in the hearts of everyone. That is the sky of the heart, steadiness of the heart, silence of the heart. When it starts vibrating, that is called anahat sound, unbroken, continuous sound. There Om starts, and when it is expressed, it becomes audible in the fourth phase. Before that, three phases are there of the sound, which is not audible. I will give you an example of the lamas. Lamas of Tibet, the Buddhist lamas, they have this beautiful theory, practical also. They have some kind of bowel. It is made up of many metals, at least 8. Ashtadhatu. A bowel, empty bowel, they keep on the hand. And there is another rod made up of same metals, 8-fold metals. They go on circulating the rod away from the bowel in the air. Start very slowly, then go on speeding it, and after 1 or 2 minutes, slowly you will be able to hear the sound. Before that sound, the sound was there in the air, that means in the ether. Ether is nothing but expansion of the sound. So the sound is always present in subtle form in the ether, that is sky. And our modern scientists, NASA people, they show their spacecraft which is traveling in the space since years, and it sends some reports of the universe. Universe is so vast, it will take millions of years to reach somewhere because universe is endless. So in between it sends some sounds only. Tick, 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 tick. That sound they telecast. So sound is there in the sky, which is not audible, but these spacecrafts, they are so capable of capturing the subtle movements. They send the sound from the sky, always the tick, tick, tick sound, just as the minute hand and second hand makes tick, tick, tick and goes forward. Similarly, this sound is there in the sky. It is proved by the modern scientists. If we say, nobody will believe it. We say it logically from the vision of subtlemost mind, which we call prajna, dharana, dhriti, the starting vibrations, just as in the water surface, which is absolutely balanced, silent. If you put a dust particle in it, there has to be some ripples creating. Some ripples will be created, and that is invisible because dust particle is so subtle. It creates some ripples, some vibrations that is not visible to the physical eyes. Even microscope may not capture it. So subtle, but it is waves only, vibrations only. The balanced state is disturbed. Thereby, there how this, the touch of the wind over the surfacial steady water creates all these ripples. The touch itself creates the ripples. So it goes on naturally. No ocean can be ever steady because wind is there. So by touch, the surfacial water is vibrated, and they are called waves, ripples, subtler than the ripples. In this way, he says, constantly remembering the Lord throughout the life, constancy is of paramount importance. The most easy way to attain Him, that constancy itself is called the truth. Ananya Cheta, he who He has no attachment for any other object. He will not think of any other object save his Ishta Devata or the tutelary deity. Where the mind is attached, the deity of your form where you meditate upon as God. Any form, God is all-pervading. So anywhere you can concentrate and meditate, and when you become one with the object, then it reveals itself. Revelation is already revealed. The truth. Truth is all-pervading. So in that way, wherever you concentrate the mind, there, if it is constantly steady, it reveals its revelation, ever revealed truth. The truth is all-pervading. So on any object of the sense you can concentrate. So many bright examples are there before us. Valmiki, the greatest murderer, greatest sinner, who could not even chant the name of God because of his sins, impure mind. He uttered he chanted something which is not the mantra, this just opposite of mantra, mara mara. He chanted the corpse, 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 and he uttered the omnisciency, sarvajnata. He became all-knower. But constantly he did it without caring for the body, mind and prana. He went on chanting it, and the result was he was omniscient in the end. Sarvajna, all-knower. So anywhere one can meditate upon, on any object. But mantras are specially composed sound, so it becomes quicker. If it is chanted in real rhythm and with meaning, with feeling, it becomes quicker. That's all. So, ananya cheta means one who doesn't get attachment for any other object than the Absolute. Ishta Devata, the choicest deity, the form or the name, what you like most. That becomes easier for the mind to be steadied upon, because the mind likes it. So on this formula, the formula of meditation is to fix the mind which mind likes most. For anybody and at any condition. So what is everybody likes most? Let the God sleep in his abode. We don't care. We like our body most. Who dislikes his body? All our attention, our time, our actions are concerned with the body. Because of the body's sake, we have the desires, we have the relationships because of the body. And so it proves how much time you spend to decorate the body, make up the body. All the time, almost all the time, we think of the body. So it shows, it proves everybody likes the body. For every being, not only human beings, every being likes his body most. So the easiest method to think of the body, and slowly you go on sitting constantly and fixing the mind on the body, whole body. So mind will be concentrated so soon, it will think of the body. It is the easiest method to meditate. And then you feel the witnessing state of the body. Because you are the seer of the body, you are looking at your body with closed mind and senses. You are always concentrating upon the body. That means you are watching the body, witnessing the body. So witnesser and the witnessed object, they have difference. So you will feel a kind of difference between body and your existence. Slowly you will develop the witnessing state and you get out of the body. That is the easiest process to go out of the body and give up the attachment with the body. Yes?
Commenting relatedly, they use the word existence many times.
Pardon?
Existence. So should we understand? So through this body only we feel that it is an existence. I exist.
Yes. Gross existence. Gross existence. The subtle has become gross by repetition. Just as a child repeats the syllables A, B, C, he has to go on repeating on the A written by his teacher. So one line becomes so gross line, so thick line. When you go on repeating the same thing, that becomes gross. Anything, when it is repeated again and again, it takes a form. So also is the case with mantra. When you repeat the mantra again and again, the sound gets a form. That is called mantra devata, the god of the mantra. It takes a form. You can see it by your physical eyes. So now the easiest, fast method is to concentrate upon body, and then comes prana. Everybody is afraid, I have to live, I may not die, I should not die. Means that is vital energy which is called prana. So in vipassana and other yogic methods, they ask you to watch your breath. Everybody is so fond of his prana. So when you concentrate upon the breathing system, it goes out and comes in slowly. That is the method of vipassana. It was long before our yogic practice. Now it is known as brought forth from Buddhist tradition, but it was initially it is the tradition of Indian system to concentrate upon watching upon the breath. So you become the witness of breath, and when breath stops, there is a principle on whatever moving object you concentrate. If your mind is fully concentrated upon it, the movement of the object has to stop. That is called Vasikaran. Vasikaran, controlling others. If you go on looking at a person constantly without closing your eyes, that person has to be steady. Mesmerism or other methods, they are based upon this theory. If you want to control somebody, go on looking at it, do nothing, but it should be continuous. Your eyes should not close, and within short time, the person is fully under your control. Whatever you think, then he has to do accordingly. That is called mesmerism. And that is also called Rekhi by one way, indirect way. Rekhi. And pranic cure. Go on looking at the painful portion of the body, the pain has to subside. That is called Rekhi. So many methods are there. We don't know how it happens, but people practice it. Analytically, if you see, these are the principles which work everywhere. So now the prana, and then comes the mind. If you can watch the mind, which is most difficult, then mind has to stop. Whatever you look at, that has to stop. Looking at physically or mentally or in a subtle way means paying your attention. That is called watching or looking. Thinking nothing other than that. That is called continuous thought. In that way, the whole world is under your clutches. One idea, that's how the modern saying goes, one idea can change the world. If it is constant. And on this basis only, the saying goes, as you think, so you become. And then comes Nityasaha. Nityasaha means constantly. For a long time, that is till the end of life. Nityasaha, till the end of life. He who remembers the Lord by feeds and starts, or he who remembers him for 6 months and then leaves the practice and then again remembers him for 6 months and so on, cannot attain him. If there is a break, the continuity is broken because the truth is undisturbed. That is called continuous. And if you break it in between, then success is far off. If it is continuous, success is in your clutches. So tomorrow we shall see further. Mamupetya, the 15th sloka. Mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayam asasvatam napnuvanti mahatanaha sansidhim paramam gataha. One who, having attained me, these great souls do not again take birth here, which is the place of pain and is non-eternal, perishable. They have reached the highest perfection, liberation. Steadiness, which is so simple, which is ever there with you, is always with you. That is so easily achieved means it was already there. You are the steadiness and you become unsteady to have contact with outer objects, sense objects. And that's how the inner thoughts only express outside. The inner, with the whole world remains within you. You are the creator. And you project it out of your heart of hearts. That is what you see outside with names and forms. You identify yourself with the outside names and forms. Thereby you see the visible world, which is not there. It is within you. Because the absolute steadiness it lies in your heart of hearts. The Creator is you. And you are the destroyer also. You are the sustainer also. You are the absolute also. And yet you have forgotten it. Just as you forget your chain in the neck, the golden chain, and you go on searching for it. When you go before a mirror, it was there, it is there, it will be there always. The lost chain is found. That means nothing happens. Chain was always with you. You had forgotten. The musk deer, it goes on searching for the good smell of this musk, which is in its navel itself. It doesn't know. It goes on searching in the whole forest, nowhere it gets. We shall discuss it tomorrow further in detail. For today this much. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasisate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hare